This so you can make a command logger system for your Discord.js version 14 bot, so let's go and get started. Before I show you how to do this, I'd like to say that if you're interested in getting the source code from this video or any of the other videos on my channel, you can go ahead and join a super or god tier subscription on YouTube, or you could go ahead and get a god tier subscription over on Discord. You can also get the bot tier, which will give you a full zip file of the exact bot used in the tutorial videos. We're also selling 4 bot packages based on a specific topic. All of this will be in the description below if you're interested, and with that, let's go and get into the code. So we're going to start off by going over to events, and we're going to go ahead and just create our command log.js. In here, we're going to start off by getting our events and our action row builder. We can also get our button builder, we can get our button style, and we can get our component type. We're also going to get our embed builder, and then we're going to do equals require, and we're going to go ahead and get our discord.js package. Next, we're going to go ahead and make our system. So we can do module.exports. We're going to go ahead and get name, and we can do events, and we can do .interaction create. We're going to go ahead and do async execute, so we can go ahead and get our interaction, and we're going to go ahead and open this up. We're going to start off by saying if no interaction.command name. Then we're just going to go ahead and return, because we want this to be a command and not like a select menu or a button or something like that. This is only for logging commands. Then we're going to go ahead and do var send guild equals await client.guild.fetch. And this is going to be the guild that you want to send this log to. Now, one other thing, make sure you define client up above, and then down here we can go ahead and pass that in. But this is going to be like your bot testing server or like a admin server for your bot or whatever. For me, I'm just going to go ahead and get the testing server that I use, but keep in mind this should be like a private server. Then we're going to do var send channel, and then we can do equals await, and we can do send guild.channels, and we can do .fetch. And again, this is going to be a private channel for developers only within this server that you want to send the log to. So I'm going to go ahead and get that one. Then we're going to do our information variables so that we can compose an embed. So we're going to do var command equals interaction.command name. We can go ahead and do var guilds equals interaction.guild. We can do var user equals interaction, and we can do .user. And we can do var channel equals, and we can do interaction.channel, just like that. Now we're going to do const embed equals new embed builder, and we're going to set a color. I'm going to go ahead and make it green this time because it's logging a successful command. We're going to go ahead and set a title, and I'm just going to go ahead and maybe get a clover emoji, something like that, and we can say command used. Then we're going to go ahead and set a description, and we can go ahead and say an interaction command has been used. Then we're going to go ahead and add fields. So we're going to get name. This is going to be guild of use, and we can go ahead and get our value. I'm going to get \tick. We can go ahead and do guild.name, and I'm going to do \tick again. Just make sure this is in strings, just like that. Then outside of the \ticks, I'm going to go ahead and open up parentheses, and I'm going to get our guild.id. Then we can go ahead and add another field. We're going to get name, and this is going to be channel of use. We're going to go ahead and get our value, and we can go ahead and do the same thing. So we're going to do \tick. I'm going to go ahead and do our channel.name, and then we're going to do \tick, and we can go ahead and get our channel.id. We're going to go ahead and do this again. We're going to add some fields. We're going to go ahead and get our name. We're going to go ahead and do command user. We can go ahead and do value. I'm going to do \tick again. We can do user.username, and then we can go ahead and open up parentheses. We're going to do user.id. Then we can go ahead and set a footer, and this is going to be text, and we can just go ahead and say interaction use logger, and then we can follow up with a timestamp. Now, the last thing I forgot to do was add one more field. This is going to be the command field. So I'm going to do name, and we can do command, and we can do value, and I'm going to do \tick, and we can just go ahead and get our command variable, and we can do \tick again. So now we have composed an entire embed with all of our information. Now let's go ahead and make a button that generates an invite. So like we, as the developers, could join the server if we wanted to, or at least get an invite to the server. This is kind of like a extra feature of this to make the system a little bit more advanced and a little bit more useful. So now we can do const button equals new button builder this time, and we're going to go ahead and set a style. We can do button style.danger, and we're going to go ahead and set a custom ID, and I'm going to go ahead and do generate invite log. And then we can go ahead and set our label, and I'm going to go ahead and get a mailbox emoji, and we can say generate server invite. So now we're going to go ahead and set disabled. We're going to make that false. Now we can make make our action row builder. So we're going to do const buttons equals a new action row builder, and we're going to add our components. We're going to just go ahead and pass in our button, and that's all we're going to have to do with that. Now let's go ahead and send the message. So we're going to do our var message equals await send channel. We can do .send. I'm going to get our embeds, and we can get our embed, and I'm also going to go ahead and get our components, which is going to be our buttons component. Make sure you do buttons and not button there. Now we're going to do var time, and I'm going to do 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, we're going to have the collector expire, which means the button is going to go to disabled. So we can do 5 minutes in milliseconds, which is going to be about 300,000 milliseconds. Then we can do const collector equals await msg.create message component collector. And we're actually going to go ahead and open this up. We're going to get component type, which is going to be our component type. And we can do .button. We're also going to get our time variable just like that. All right, so now let's go ahead and do collector, and we can do .on, and I'm going to go ahead and collect, and we can do async I, and we can open this up. So we're going to say if I.custom ID is equal to our generate invite log. We're going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to handle this. So we can do var invite equals await channel.create invites. And within this, you could pass in some values, like maybe an expiration or something like that, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it as default. We can do await I.reply, and we can go ahead and say contents. And I'm going to just go ahead and get a globe emoji, and we can go ahead and say here's the invite to the guild of command use. And we're going to go ahead and do HTTPS. We can do discord.gg/ and we're going to get our invite.code just like that. We're also going to go ahead and set ephemeral to true on that message, just so that it is only available to the person who wants the button and not just everybody in the channel. So now all we have to do is handle our button off event. So we can do collector.on, and we're going to do end, and we can just go ahead and write out a quick little async function. And we're going to open this up, and all we have to do is do button.setDisabled, and we're going to make that true. Now, if you wanted to, you could go ahead and edit your embed to make it say like maybe another field or maybe even a footer, like this button expired. I guess we might as well do that. Let's go ahead and do embed dot, we could do set footer, and we can go ahead and say text, and we can go ahead and say interaction use logger, and we can go ahead and say the button below has expired or something like that. So now we've edited it. All we have to do is send it. So we can do await, and we can go ahead and do message.edit, and we can get our embeds. We're going to get our embed, and we might as well just include our components. So we can do components, and we're going to go ahead and get our buttons component so that we can actually go ahead and set disabled to true. So essentially what this off collector is doing is it's setting disabled to true. It's editing our embed to say that the button is disabled, and then we're editing both of those changes into our message. So that we're actually done with this entire system. So let's go ahead and save the file, restart the bot, and test this out. All right, so over in the Discord server, let's go ahead and just run a random command. And as you can see, as soon as we run that command, we get a brand new message within our channel that we set, and it's going to say command used, and it's going to say an interaction command has been used. So obviously the command is going to be our bot tier. Our guild of use is going to be skbot testing. That's the guild we're in with the guild ID. We're going to get channel of use, which is going to be the channel that we use the command in. And that's going to be the ID there. And then the command user is going to be me with the ID as well. So let's go ahead and click on generate invite. So now, as you can see here, we're going to go ahead and get an invite to this guild. So that's just a feature that I thought I'd add, like in case your bot is running a command in a server that you don't recognize or something, you could get an invite to it just to confirm. Or if your bot is a little bit bigger and you wanted to join that server for whatever reason, this part of it is a little bit tricky. It's kind of unethical to get invites like this. So just be aware with what you're doing there. Now let's go ahead and go over to a different server, and we can go ahead and run. We could do the same command, or we could just go ahead and get a different one. So maybe we can just do random quote. And this one might take a little bit, but I guess it loaded. So if we go back over to the Discord here, as you can see, we have a brand new command used. So this one is going to be random quote. It's going to be the skbot team, which has the same logo, but it is a different server. The channel that we used was general, and obviously I was a command user. So now if we click on generate invite here, this time it's going to go ahead and generate an invite to the skbot team server and not the skbot testing. It's a little bit tricky because it has the same logo, I guess you could say, but it is a different server. Now, I want to point this out because we're using variables for this. If we were to click on generate server invite, it's going to continue to generate the same server as the log here. And then obviously if we do this one, it's going to generate that server. So no matter what commands are logged, you're always going to get the same invite from that corresponding message. So I thought I'd add that in. So now let's go ahead and wait a couple more minutes for these buttons to expire so that we can show off that feature, and then we will be all done. And as you can see here, the first command that we used here went ahead and edited, and it grayed out the button, meaning we can't click it. It also edited the footer saying the button below has expired. Quick note, the reason we're doing this is because collectors will expire after a certain point. So like if the bot turns off and then turns back on, the collector will no longer work, meaning if you tried to click on one of the buttons, you're going to get an interaction failed. So the best thing to do is after a certain period of time where the user is probably not going to see the button anymore, we should just go ahead and edit it out so that we don't have any failed interactions. So our next one should be editing right now. We did it about a minute apart, so it should go ahead and gray out within the next couple of seconds. And there it is. As you can see, the button has grayed out and the message has been edited. Thus, you can make an advanced command log system for your Discord.js version 14 bot. If you do need any help with this, go ahead and join the server in the description below and use our help channels here, and we'll be happy to help you out. And you might as well just join anyways, because this is a pretty good coding community. And with that, I will see you guys in the next video.